So here's the go-kart now. Rip the seat off of her. It's right there. Was perusing over here. So this is a torque converter. This thing's all fucky-wucky. It uses springs and weight. So when you press the throttle, it pushes this conical disc in, makes the gearing higher for, here's the other part of it. Just started in my truck. Where the fuck are you? Nope, my bad. Right here. This is the other half of it. That's another big spring, but it rides inside of this doohickey. Then it goes to this gear. Goes through this shaft. There'd be a small gear here, going to a big gear here. Boom, there. And that drives the wheels. Well, that's very complicated. That's a lot of shafts to go by. That's how many bearings? If it's 4 bearings right here, you got to grease. That's kind of redundant. I guess for a small form factor, sure. But my idea was to get a bigger sprocket for right here. But as you can see, the motor don't line up. So I'm just going to cut the mounting brackets there. And then here and here, slide the motor this way to where it's in line. Got some adjustability with this keyway here. I think it'll fit. I'm gonna measure, obviously, but that's that. And that's with the dirty old seat off of her. Yep. And there's my dog. What are you sniffing? Ida. You can't be lapping up puddles in the garage. What are you doing, man? She's a little weasel. Okay, come on. So here's the year-old go-kart. Got it all bare bones, essentially. Took the snot welder 9000, lobbed off the old motor mounts, and then re-snot welded the motor to the right over here. Made sure it's square with the axle and the frame. That way, when I decide to slap a doohickey thingamabob on there, it goes as planned. If not, I can always get a plate steel and make fine adjustments for alignment. But essentially, I'm just going to put a clutch here with a smaller gear. So something like this. Probably a big gear like this. A little gear. It's too small for this axle shaft. But essentially, a gear here. Going to a bigger gear here to drive the wheels. Single speed. Makes it more simple, more reliable. I can show you the motor starting. How about that? It's a good runner. It's like half bolted down, so it might, come off its... Let me see. Let's put my foot on it. 2 pulls. Not bad for it sitting for ever. Oh, that's fine. Look at him, I gotta put a sprocket on her. Alrighty. Oh. This is the kill switch. I wonder. Did I choke it out? No more air for you. Okay, I'm just gonna... plug the guy back in. Okay, that's how you do it. I really like my old engineering. You got some vacuum tube and some zip ties right here holding in the old gas tank. It's pretty darn sturdy, I'd say. And then I got some fencing wire right here. Yeah, and some paracord for the pull start. It's a good runner. She's a good motor. Yep. Just yep. Till next time. Okay, so kind of piecing it together. Engine slid over to the right and welded. Did a poor job of explaining what I was doing. But now I moved the go pedal. Go pedal's on the right side, brake pedal's on the left side. And I centered the steering wheel. Pretty neat, huh? It seems simpler than said than done. I had to cut these tabs down here. That's where the old ones were, re-weld them. And then I had to shorten this tie rod end link. So that way it goes straight. Rudimentary alignment right now. I didn't get a tape measure. I just did it by eyeball. And then I had to extend this one. And I used a bolt. I shaved it down in my little grinder up there. And then I had a piece of tube steel. And then I welded that one all the way around. This guy's pretty fucking stout. And then I put this bar in here so your feet have somewhere to be. But yeah, you know, all it needs is a seat and drivetrain and brakes. But it's a good roller now. So when all that shit comes in the mail, yeah, she'll be a runner. Neat. Okay, go-kart is completely done. Have not test driven it because I'm waiting for the RTV to get around the crankcase housing. That's the new sprocket. This is the clutch and whatnot. This is what drives the thing, makes it go. You have brakes now. Got the seat mounted in there. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Yeah, this little go-kart. Test driving it tomorrow. So I finally finished ye old go-kart. Seats all in place. I aired up the tires to 25 pissies. They only call for 20. And then I put some tire sealant in them because that guy kept going flat on me. And I don't want to buy new tires because they got decent tread and yada yada. So $8 later and 24 ounces of line later, they're on there. These guys only call for 5 PSI. They also got 25 pissy. So, yeah. Anyways, this is the much bigger sprocket I put on her. That's my hand for size. You can't see the apprentice welds on here because I masked it all with matte black spray paint. But they're on there, and I drove it, and she goes. The clutch isn't too happy. It's a lot happier with this bigger gear on here than it was last time. There's my little spacer down there to slide the axle this way, so that way the brakes don't come undone. I can see the slide pin down there. Plenty of room. It has the go, it has the brakes. I had to do another little spacer over here on the axle bearing, because if I seated it down too far, there'd be too much preload on this bearing and then this bearing, and the axle was having a real tough time spinning. But there's no more side-to-side movement on the axle no more like she was from factory. Yeah, she's minty. And not just that, the on the thing means off, and the off means on, because anti-theft. So when you want to start it, you want to pull it, you feel the compression, and you just want to abruptly, it wants to go. No, that's mine. I put a tire changer in the garage because it was cheaper than taking my... This is a tire changer I mounted into the concrete. Works pretty good. Oh, got good bearings in her. Well, I'm gonna see this thing tomorrow. Make sure she still has wind in the tires. But yeah, she's good to go. Mint.